morning, everybody. My name is RlrrRrl. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty of stuff to work on. Today, I'm practicing limb independence on the drum kit. Now, the way that I'm practicing this is I'm actually going to be working out of some patterns out of this book. It's called 50 Ways to Syncopation. It's by Don Moyle. I highly recommend this book. It is fantastic if you want to improve your limb independence, specifically for like some Latin jazz stuff. But there's also these two books, which is called New Breed 1 and New Breed 2, which is a great way to work on limb independence as well for more like rock, etc. Good morning to you, Toast. Now, I am not good at limb independence yet, so this is going to be me practicing stuff that I'm trying to get better at. In these practice streams, think of it like office hours. I'm here to get better as a performer and as an educator, and then I answer some questions live if people have some particular questions. And inside of all of these 500 plus live streams, there are timestamps in the description, so you can jump to whatever it was that I was practicing or whatever kind of question I was answering. Oh, good morning, Edwards. Good to see you again. Now, because I've had so many wonderful questions from people over the years of streaming, I've edited those answers that I give and put them into this drumming tips playlist. It has over 100 videos and almost 20 hours of free drumming tips inside of this Q&A. Now, the first thing that I talk about is whatever the title is. So, for example, how to improve the second note of a diddle. And then if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there are more topics inside of that particular video other than just the title. So if the title doesn't interest you, there might be more topics inside of there that do interest you. If it does not have that and it just says like, so you're thinking of getting a doctorate in music, that's the only thing I talk about in that video. Almost 15 minutes of answering whether or not it's worth it to get a PhD, which I have one. So for context, I'm not just making up stuff. Now, I am not good at limb independence yet. I'm mostly a rudimental drummer, followed by concert percussion, and then like less than 1% of my time has been on the drum kit side of things. So I need some motivation from the great sage, Shia LaBeouf. So Shia, help me out. Motivate me to get ready to practice. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success, while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Wow, I am so motivated now, thanks to the great sage, Shia LaBeouf. Thank you, Shia LaBeouf. Everybody's ready to go. You got a contract for the White Sabres? That's awesome. Edwards, fantastic. GG's. Fist bump. Boop. So on a scale from 0 to super excited, how super excited are you? Okay. By the way, all these resources that are on my website, which is linked here if you're on the vertical stream, are also found on my YouTube channel, on the home tab specifically, because YouTube doesn't really have as good of organization capabilities as, you know, my own personal website. So at the top, there's a bunch of chop exercises. There's over 1,000 grid variations. There's the section that I'm working on today, the limb independence section, with tons of resources. Over 500 marching bass stuff, some drumline cadences and score format. There's almost 300 sight reading exercises, almost 500 technique exercises. There's over 19 hours of drumming Q&A inside of here. And then here's a bunch of scripted lessons on specific topics like why tenor drummers are always tuning their drum heads, or how to do crossovers, or how to hold traditional grip, etc. So lots of different resources in here. All the same content on YouTube, but it's organized neater. Now, today I'm going to be working on limb independence. Now, like I said, it's from Don Moyle's book. And what I'm going to do is actually switch between two of his different patterns in here. But the two patterns that I'm going to be playing are this. So, first one, paradiddle, and then left, right, right, left. So, you can add a shut, on 1 or maybe 1 and 3 if you want to get it a little extra fancy sounding. And you're reading the patterns on the foot. So okay, so the foot is going to play the charts. Now, I'm going to do one line of that, and then I'm going to switch to this other pattern where I'm going to, so 4 bars, and then I'm going to do this. 1 and 2 and, sorry, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 while still reading the charts on the foot. So every 4 bars, I'm going to play either or, and just keep going back and forth every 4 bars. Not every 4 beats like I was just demonstrating, okay? And I'm going to do that with these charts inside of here. Last time I did it at 125. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it at that speed. So under the limb independence section, there's straight charts starting as slow as 40, all the way up to 240. And the same charts swung, but I'm going to do it at 125. So I'm going to go here straight. Oop. Sorry, let me see your comment. Teaching students, I find that they have more difficulty with the breakdown of things than the actual part itself. Like if you isolate one hand, they don't understand how it lines back up. Especially rudiments and grids. Yeah. Edwards, that is a great question. So I have a video that talks about that. Let me just show you on the home tab here. So if we scroll all the way down, and we go into the drumming lessons section. So inside of here, there's a video that is likely titled "How to Speed Up Any Rudiment for You." I'm doing A/B tests on a lot of these different titles. So some of the titles might be different, but it is for sure this thumbnail, the max BPM with the paradiddles on it. But inside of this video, I talk about how to speed up a rudiment. And so it talks about the mental framing of things and then the mechanical breakdown that you do with things. And I specifically mention in there how there's an issue where when students that I've taught over the decades that I've been teaching, when they isolate out their hands and they try and work on something where it's like, let's say a paradiddle. So that's what your hand... Oops, I just switched to the pattern I'm about to play. Paradiddle. No, I keep doing that. So if you play a paradiddle like this, as soon as you put it together, it just doesn't go good. And so in this video, the how to speed up the rudiments, this specific section might be of interest to you, Edward, since you're an educator. So it talks about, I just like very briefly put it on the screen, but it basically talks about the cognitive load theory, which is like how much your brain can handle something when practicing it. And when you isolate something and you're working on it, it might feel fine, but as soon as you put both hands together, it just completely falls apart. So check out this specific video. It's 2 minutes and 37 seconds, so it's very quick, but it should like help you to understand why it's difficult for students to break down stuff and how the exercises that break things down into mechanical groupings like this for paradiddles is a better approach than isolating something one hand at a time. Or instead doing an exercise, like if you go back to the home tab, you scroll all the way down and you go into the technique section, the rudiment builders playlist inside of the technique section. A lot of these, what they end up doing, like for, like, let's say the cheese builder. So let's say your students are having difficulty working on cheeses. They just can't figure it out. This will start with what your right hand plays, etc. And then it adds in one hand at a time. So this is your first left hand, so you're adding in the grace note. And then it adds in the next left hand. Hi-hat keeps shifting on me. It just keeps adding in one hand at a time until you get to normal cheeses, and then it slowly starts taking away one right hand at a time. So this starts with isolating out a hand, slowly layers in more hands, making it more complex, plays a normal cheese, and then slowly removes one hand, so it's just one hand at a time. This is a better way than just isolating out one hand at a time. And then the other thing that I talk about in that video with the mechanical groupings is a better way than isolating out stuff. So it makes sense why your students are having difficulty with that. Thank you for the sub. It's because of just like how our brains work on average. So that's the deal with that. From my experience, do drummers have inflated egos? I mean, from my experience, like there's such a range with musicians that like any type of musician can have inflated egos. But it usually depends on like how prominent that particular musician is within the group that they are typically performing in. So, for example, if you are a singer and you're performing in like, let's say, a rock band or something, you are at the front of the stage. You are the one who is providing the lyrics, a lot of the emotional content, etc. And so a singer might have more of an ego than somebody who's like a bass player who's like in the background, who is not literally at like the front of the stage providing the main source of the content that people resonate with. For most people, I'm not that kind of person. I personally resonate with the drumming more so than lyrics. It's very difficult for me to understand lyrics, but to each their own. But in like a concert band setting, it might be people who have like a solo. So like if you're a trumpeter who's like playing trumpet solo in one of the pieces, you might have more of an ego than somebody who's playing tuba where you're just playing like whole notes. So it depends on like how prominent your part is within the ensemble that you typically experience or have experience with. That is more likely going to have the ego behind it. But that being said, like everybody has a range. Like I've met some of the most chill drummers in my life, and then some of the most like egotistical drummers that you can possibly imagine. And same thing with any type of instrument. There's some people when like you meet them, you're like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I never want to talk to you again because you have way too much of an ego. Thanks and goodbye." And then there's other people that are like super chill. So, to each their own. And then everybody has like different hang-ups on like, not hang-ups, but like different ideas of what is an ego. So for example, like for a lot of people who have like DMAs, a Doctorate of Musical Arts, or a PhD in like music education or composition or whatever, it's like very common to be called doctor. And that's just like, this is what we do because I earned it, blah, blah, blah. And as somebody who has a doctorate, I don't refer to myself as like Dr. RlrrRrl unless I'm like joking. And like that is like an intentional, I'm trying to step away from the ego side of things. I don't want to have that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a range, but like to each their own. But part of the reason why like I don't identify with like being doctor, like the title is because like I went into this to help people. And so like I didn't get a PhD to like get the title. I got it so that way I could help more students. So like when I was teaching in a school, I might help a few hundred students a week. But I was like, but if I become a professor, I teach the teachers who then teach a few hundred students a week. So I indirectly would have an impact on like a thousands, tens of thousands of students, etc. Which is also, I went into curriculum development, which allowed me to create resources that literally millions of students around the world have used, which is cool. And now with these like free YouTube resources, now anyone in the world can use these, which is great. Give us my best groove, please. I've been practicing that one for years. What'd you think? Cool. So I'm going to be doing limb independence. And like I said, I'm doing it at 125, and it's a straight chart. And I'm switching between two different patterns. I'm just going to go ahead and do charts 1 through 5 because the last stream I went all the way up to 50. So I'm just going to restart. So that way I can practice sight reading. So again, I'm practicing switching every 4 bars between 2 different limb independence patterns. I'm going to read through the patterns on the bass drum while I switch between a 3-way and a 4-way independence. It's going to count off 2, 1, 2. Here's the first one I'll play. So it's paradiddle, and then left, right, right, left. Accent on 2 of 4. So the other pattern is this one. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. No! Hold on a second. I was like, why do I hear a rattling? Apparently I hit my cymbal, and it was like on the tom. Okay, let's try this again. I totally whiffed that second line. Again. Switching between 2 different patterns. Cymbal. Don't fall. 1, 2, ready, and... The foot will read through the rhythms the entire time. Each one of the charts. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... I started doing snare on 3. Why can't I keep doing that? Ugh, this is going really bad actually. Let me figure this out. Why can't I play this pattern? It's the switch from here that screwed me up. Like the independence pattern itself is not hard. Yeah, let me do the overhead so you can see it better. So that offbeat on the upbeat hi-hat and is screwing up my right foot. Huh. Let's try switching into it. Yeah, that screwed it up too. Okay, let me slow this down actually. I was hoping I could just pick up where I left off the other day, but no, it doesn't sound good. So as my warm-up, I need to go slower. Let's try it at 110, and we're going to grind this out in a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through these 5 charts. I'll stretch and massage, and then I'll go up 5 clicks at a time, just continuing to play these 2 patterns. But by slowing it down, 15 clicks in this case, it's giving my brain more time to process the patterns so that I can switch between them like this, hopefully with more accuracy than what I just attempted as my warm-up. 1, 2, ready, and... That's better already. By the way, the question about the inflated ego, the reason why I was bringing up the whether or not you refer to yourself as doctor is because in some circles it's oh well, that's not an ego, that's just a title. But then for other circles it's no, that is an ego. So it's it's relative. Which is why it's a difficult question to ask. But I've met so many drummers who are super humble, and then I met some who are very egotistical. I try to be as chill as I can, which is kind of evident in the fact that I'm streaming myself practicing as opposed to just showing off in streams. So trying to show all the mistakes rather than hiding. Look, I switched the hi-hat with the ride, like this. It's not supposed to be on the beat, it's supposed to be on the offbeat. Whoopsies. I think talking's screwing me up, but the fact that I can talk while reading through these charts, it means this is a more comfortable tempo. Hello to you. Yeah, so it turns out it's easier to just play 4-way independence as opposed to 4-way independence and talk while playing. Who would have thought? 2 more charts, we'll stretch your massage, and then I'll continue to play this, but 5 clicks faster with some different charts. I almost didn't switch between the first pattern and this pattern. You can improvise on these top lines or just play the ostinato, whatever you want to do. Your practice session, you do what you want to work on. The drum trigger's not picking up all the snares. Oh, that hi-hat went on the ride again. I was too busy thinking about how I need to, like, switch the drum trigger. Like, that snare didn't pick up. Yeah, so this... Oops. This is what's not picking it up. Let's adjust it. Okay, hopefully that makes it a little bit better. Hi! Alright, let's stretch and massage. So the first one that I'm going to do is going to stretch the sides of the forearms. So I'm going to try and relax my hands. And then I'll get back into the same charts that I was just doing with the same patterns, but we'll go 5 clicks faster to see if we can try and speed up my brain a little bit. Maybe I should drink some coffee as well. The first one that I'm going to do, you take your sticks, you hold them in your palms facing up. You pull in, you push through. It looks weird, but it feels great. Here's the front view if you're on the horizontal feed. And to get out of this, you just go back out the way that you came. Now, if you do traditional or rotary motions like Steven's grip, you could rotate and hold the one end of the extreme, rotate and hold to the other end of the extreme. But because I don't do those anymore, I'm not going to worry about that because I don't need to stretch that out. Now, I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm. So I'm just pulling back. One hand at a time. Don't pull hard. If you do this on the wall, the lower you go, the deeper the stretch. So you can do 2 hands at a time. You could even do it on your drums, like I did yesterday in the tenor stream. Switch. Hello to you too. By the way, there's like a 20-second-ish delay on YouTube, so I do reply as quickly as I can. It's just stream delay. And it like won't let me adjust it, which is annoying. Next, top sides. We just stretched the underside. Now I'm going to stretch the top side. You could do this one on the wall like a zombie. The higher you go, the deeper the stretch. Or you could do it like this on your legs. And then you can do 2 at a time. Whee! One more stretch, and then I'll do a quick massage routine, and then we'll go back into the limb independence patterns that I was just warming up with. Okay, so thumb to thumb stretches your fingers. It feels good. Hold it for as long as you feel like you need it. Your hands might feel tighter than mine. I don't know. Love the shirt. Thank you. /merch on my website. I think it's funny. It makes me laugh. So, like I'm saying, and like I was saying, your fingers, depending on what you've been doing the last, ASMR, 48 hours or so, they're gonna feel different than mine. So you might have some fingers that are tighter than mine, so take your time with it. If you feel like you need to hold it longer than I am, then do that. If you feel like you're good in a shorter amount of time than I am, that's fine. Everybody's different, turns out. Okay. +7 energy. Now we're going to massage. So I'm going to do thumb on top, fingers underneath. Trying to relax my forearms. Trying to get nice and loose. If you do rotary motions and stuff, it's going to actually make your bicep move up and down. Speed-wise, it's not a strength thing, but you can massage your biceps or triceps if you need to. What's my favorite genre to play? I mean, there's too many. Off stream, I play a lot of like tactical games, like turn-based, whether it's like Final Fantasy Tactics or like Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battles, or more like a deck builder, like Slay the Spire or Monster Train 1 or 2, etc. Like I really like those kinds of games. But like on stream, on the home tab of YouTube, a lot of the games that I've streamed have been like Souls-like games. Like I really like Bloodborne. I like Nioh 1 and 2. They're amazing games. Sekiro was okay. Let's see, we've played some of the Souls games, like Elden Ring on stream. Got some highlight reels for that. Those are fun. But I also like Ghosts of Tsushima and Ghosts of Yotei are like peak gaming for me. Like loved making not only the highlight reels, but loved streaming those games, etc. Oh, what's my favorite music? That's funny. Because you were talking about the pro gamer shirt. I assumed you were talking about the music. I really like rudimental stuff. Base the tip of each one of the fingers. So, like, I'm a rudimental drummer, drumline, march, snare. But if I'm talking about drum kit, I really like playing Latin jazz styles. So, those are fun. But the one that I'm working on right now, like that I'll do here in a minute, is like a rock pattern. But funk is also fun to just like put in my headphones and just like jam along to it. But like put on some like salsa music and then I'll be lost for like an hour, just enjoying, just jamming along to that, playing some sambas, bayones, etc. But yeah, usually Latin jazz is probably my favorite to play. They're fun. But, you know, to each their own. I like listening to all sorts of stuff that I don't necessarily enjoy playing. Like when I'm writing, whether it's like lessons or whatever, like the scripted drumming stuff that's like on my home tab of YouTube. If you scroll down, all the way into the tips and lessons section, most of these drumming lessons were like written with drum and bass going on in the background. So, like all of these are heavily influenced by that. How much space do I think a drum set takes? At least 50 hamburgers. I hope that helps. You like playing metal, but you've listened to some jazz. You don't play drums, you're a guitarist and bassist. I don't know how good they are from a guitar and bass standpoint, but if you like metal, a band that my wife got me into is called Sleep Token, and their drummer is very like a jazzy metal drummer. It's kind of hard to explain, but 2 from Sleep Token is phenomenal drummer. So GG's to that group. But yeah. If you do guitar and bass, etc. If you go into the limb independent section, there's actually some things that you could do for like rhythm practice, like these first 4 playlists, the 8th note timing, triplet timing, 16th note, and the timing transitions could be some cool ways that you could actually like practice along to these while playing guitar, etc. So, but yeah, cool. So I'm gonna play through the same pattern that I just did, but instead of doing it at 110, I'm gonna do it at 115. So we're gonna go up 5 clicks. And I'm going to do the next set of charts 6 through 10. So if you're just tuning in, you're like, what patterns are you talking about, Jared? So the first pattern that I'm going to play for 4 bars is paradiddle, left, right, right, left. And then go into this. Tell an OG metalhead you like Sleep Token and you're getting bullied. I mean, only if they're rude. Like, my wife is an old metalhead. Like, she's listened to all kinds of metal. Probably the first metal that I listened to was, like, Fear Factory. And then, like, some prog stuff would be, like, Dream Theater and Liquid Tension Experiment or, like, Porcupine Tree, etc. But, I mean, anybody who's being an elitist about, like, Sleep Token and is like, well, it's not metal because you're not like the entire time is just, it's an immature understanding of music. And they're wrong, and I can say that because I'm a doctor. Going back to the ego thing. Okay, I joke. All right, so 115. Let's try playing through these. Fear Factory is goated. Yeah. What is it? Securitron? The oh, that one, just like every time I hear that, it just woo is good. Sorry, it already counted off. These are the 2 patterns I'm going to switch to while reading through this. 1, 2, switching every 4 bars. 2, ready, and... Screw that transition up. No! Cut. Haven't seen me in a long time. I was in Japan for 3 weeks with my wife. Great vacation. And then we spent like a week with family for like Christmas. And then we got sick from spending a week with family at Christmas. And then got 2 dogs. So I'm spending 2 to 3 hours a day training them because one of them is particularly reactive. So I've been gone, like still making content, but the like streams have been put on the back burner while I've been like making the scripted lessons, like the one that came out earlier today, and the play-alongs. Almost screwed that up. Turns out it's hard to talk while playing. But I'm back more consistently now. So stay tuned for more content. The deal is, like, if I finish the scripted stuff, if I can work on the edits for the vlog, and, like, make progress on that, then my reward is the next day I can stream. And if I don't, then I can't stream. So if I ever miss a day, then that means I read that wrong, sorry. I didn't meet my goals for the previous day. Where's Minnie? She died. was like 17. So she lived a long life, but she's dead. And we were very sad. We waited like 7 months until we got sorry, Hal and Sophie, our new dogs, a Doberman and a Lab pit bull mix. But yeah, Minnie was our dog, one of our dogs. She was the last of 4 that we had. Rip is right. She was a great dog. We loved her. Chart 9. Now again, the first lines at the top of each one of these charts, you can improvise while doing it. I'm taking it as a moment to like read through the chat, but do what you want. It turns out it's hard to sight read while reading chat. No, I put the hi-hat on the downbeat. Sorry you brought it up. Oh no, don't apologize. I've mourned. We still definitely miss her and our other rest of our pack that came before them. But it's a part of life. It's a part of dog ownership, unfortunately. We had her for 15 years, and she died at 17, so she lived a long life. We gave her a good life, so we're happy with that. We cherish the memories that we had, and she's missed, but we also love our new dogs. Oh no, I put it on the downbeat. I gotta figure out like what's causing it that. Because the hi-hat, that transition is supposed to be on the offbeat. See, like there. What did I do? That's the last chart, so I'll just stop it there. So we have the last bar. Yeah, it's like I waited too long on it. Like I'm trying to make sure that I'm not playing the hi-hat on the downbeat right here, and then I just put it, instead of on the upbeat, I put it on 2. Sound like who? I don't know who that is. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know how that is. Studio. Sorry. I don't know. Earlier, I got a comment earlier, somebody saying that I sounded like Jeff Nippard or something. Nippard or something like that. I don't know who that is. I often get comments that I sound like Ben Shapiro, like the political commentator, which I don't talk about politics on here. But I just thought that was funny because I was like, okay, I can see that. I kind of sound like him. But yeah, I don't know. It's my voice. Can't change it. I mean, I guess I could. I have a mixer that would allow me to do like voice changing, but why would I do that? Okay, so mostly fine playing through the different patterns, but the transition going from here into this right there, the hi-hat's supposed to be on the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and. But I keep 1, 2, 3, 4, just putting it on the downbeat like this. So I'm trying to fix that. Let's try it again. So this is the next set of charts. I just hit next, so that way it would go to 11 through 15. Because when practicing this, you want to like actually sight read through new charts. Don't just sit there and memorize the same 5 charts over and over. Actually try and go through it, excuse me, and work on sight reading. 2, here we go. This is stuff I'm not good at yet, and I recommend you practice stuff you're not good at yet as well. Otherwise, what's the point of practicing? 1, 2, 1, 2, here, go. If I get that first eighth note on the hi-hat, on the upbeat, it's good. Then it locks in. But if I miss it, woo! It just like completely throws it off. So I'm like that whole rep I was really focusing on getting that upbeat. That one. Here we go. Read that wrong. Cool. We did it. We're doing it, right, Dan? If this is too hard, try every 8 bars or every chart switch to a new one instead of every 4 bars. Or, you know, just stick with one. Every one of these charts is written like in a different style. So some of them will sound really groovy with the pattern. Other ones might be like really difficult with the pattern. But it just keeps changing to keep kind of on your toes. Here we go. So that transition is much better. So I'm curious how it's gonna go. The next set of 5 charts, I'll do it 125, which is what I tried to warm up with, and I just completely had myself on. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go.